This is just a high level of, letting our customers know that where we are heading towards in terms of our strategy going forward in the next few years. So as I said, for the unified device management across platform strategy, our goal is to create a centralized and seamless management experience for Google, Apple, and other devices. Key initiatives, of course, is, we are Apple, Google, and cross platforms. We are implementing advanced capabilities among these and also building the strong partnerships with these, with our partners that with Apple, Google, or Microsoft. Now, also with the elevated security, our goal is to basically lead the industry in security, proactively setting standards for high stakes environments. Again, the key initiatives include platform security, macOS third party app updates, mobile threat defense, and privacy and compliance. In terms of enhanced user experience and operational efficiency, is to drive efficiency with automation and intuitive configurations that make managing devices easier. Here again, we are planning around the key initiatives to include automation, insights and analytics, enhanced app management. So I did not have specific slides for all of these, but these are some things that you'll start seeing in our upcoming future sessions. So this is something that we just started laying out, structured strategy that we'll be sharing with our customers going forward. Last but not least, focus on future ready. Scalable solutions ensures that we are staying ahead of the supporting emerging technologies. As you all know, generative AI is making noise everywhere. So bringing AI-driven capabilities into productivity apps like Email Plus to make workflows more secure and efficient, and of course, the other areas within the product as well. So with that, I'll start with our agenda here. We're going to cover Ivanti Neurons for MDM, of course, the cloud, productivity apps, core, partner device compliance, tunnel, Sentry access. So I'll give the control to Manoj, who will start with app management, productivity apps, and EPMM admin experience. Then followed by I'll take over and do the Android admin experience both on Neurons for MDM and EPMM. And followed by Yosune will be doing going over the Apple platform capabilities for our Q1.
Hey everyone. So we have pretty exciting features lined up in Q1 for productivity apps. So let's look into that. So on Email Plus side, will be delivering the show calendar events for 3 days. So now you will have option to see the calendar events for 3 days also. This is coming on both iOS and Android platform. Then previously, Email Plus only used to show the calendar events for last 30 days. But if somebody wants to see the calendar events for more than 30 days, that is a past events. So they were not able to see. So this feature we are releasing on iOS platform. Android, it is already available. There are various font improvements we worked on in Email Plus, and the first one is to honor accessibility settings. So here, what are the accessibility settings that you have set in iOS accessibility setting? So Email Plus will honor and display the font as per that accessibility settings. For example, if you have set the font as medium, so when using the Email Plus, you will also see the font size as medium. So this is coming. Then you will have an option where you can view the ICS file, that is the attachment file, and add them into the calendar directly. So that feature is coming on iOS. Then you can also use the other apps, and from other apps, you can open Email Plus and populate the email subject and body with text from other apps. On Android, previously we used to display only this particular calendar folder, that is a primary calendar folder. But if you have the other calendar folders, like for example, birthdays, holidays, lots of people have different calendar folders for different things, right? So that we were not supporting. So this feature is coming on Android, where you will have option to view the all calendar folders for your primary account. As I said, there are lots of font related improvement we have planned in Email Plus in this Q1 release. So you will have ability to change the font style here. You can change the color of the font. You can use a different style like title, subheading, body. All those things you can do with the Email Plus now. And this was a long long ask feature from our customers. So this we are releasing in Q1 release. So this is the roadmap for email plus iOS and Android, but I think we'll skip this. Yeah. On partner device compliance side, we'll be supporting the GCC high environment. So this is a very secure environment, mostly used by the federal customers. So normally most of the customers use the standard Office 365 environment, but this is a different environment which offered by Microsoft. We had a lot of requests like to support the partner device compliance in this environment also. So we have worked on this and this will be available in Q1. This is MS dependent, so there are a lot of interactions we are having with the Microsoft team to sort out any dependency. And based on how our interaction goes, we will enable this feature for in the Q1 release. Again, there's some changes. Microsoft is planning some changes related to the enable browser access mode. So basically, they will be enabling this enable browser access mode in the Authenticator and Company Portal app by default. So in order to handle this particular change, we have to give some certificate management permission for the Authenticator app from the Neurons for MDM side and EPMM side. So I'll be soon be publishing a KB on this particular thing, how you can give this permission to your Authenticator app. So those customers who are using the partner device compliance, I think they have to make sure that they give this permission to the Authenticator app as I'll be mentioning into our KB so that things will work properly for them. And now let's dive into the EPMM admin experience. On the EPMM admin experience side, we are a feature coming up where so the problem is that currently if you go for exporting audit logs without selecting any filters, it takes a lot of time and it's not a good experience for the customers. So if anybody goes for exporting the audit logs without selecting any filters, we'll give a pop-up warning to them that this will take a lot of time and you really want to proceed with exporting all these logs. So generally, users accidentally uh, clicks it and they stuck in that particular process. So now this warning will help them to avoid that situation. Then we'll also have an ability to remove the the users which are already deleted from the AD and LDAP. So there will be a filter called stale users, and in the stale users, you can select the users which are deleted from Active Directory or LDAP and delete that. Then, so currently you can see the devices which are blocked because of any reason like non-compliance or anything. But now you will also able to see like for how many days this devices is blocked because of the non-compliance. And then we are coming up with a feature where so currently the read-only admin that we have. So there are a lot of requests from our customer side that they should have some more visibility into the detail policy settings, detail configurations, like what are the actual values configured under specific policy, right? So currently they have a limited view where they can't see every settings or every values which is out there into the policies and configuration. So we are enhancing this particular functionality where the read-only admin will have exactly similar view that the user with the edit rights will have, but of course they won't be able to change anything, but they will able to see the all the settings, all the values specific to any options under policies and configurations. So that's how we are working on EPMM admin experience. I would also like to give you some updates. So we have worked a lot on this. Yeah, I have hidden this particular side, but so this feature app inventory advanced search. So we are working on introducing this advanced search into the app inventory. So this feature is also there right now, but there are some performance issues right now. So we are not 100% sure that it will make into Q1 and Q or not, but that's something being worked on. And we have also worked on Apple Watch OS support under app management. So there are still some open questions that we have from Apple side that we need to get resolved. But there's a lot of work happen in this particular release for this. All these features will not, you will not able to see into the product on day one. These are under the feature flags, but as we sort out those dependencies, the Apples and Microsoft, so you will see these features are, you'll able to use this particular features update on app management there. So with this, I think I am pretty much done.
So, okay, let's start with the neurons for MDM admin experience. What's up for the new the Q1 release that we are coming up with? To start with, block communication or disable old versions of Cloud Connector. This is something to ensure security and compliance. We are introducing controls to prevent outdated versions of Cloud Connector from communicating with the system, encouraging customers to upgrade to the latest supported versions. And for the Cloud Connector in Azure, it's a proof of concept. A deployment of Cloud Connector in Azure will be evaluated, allowing cloud native capabilities and potential Azure integration, which can streamline deployment and improve scalability. Regarding the Cloud Connector Oracle Linux 8 support, with Oracle Linux 8 support, the system ensures compatibility with the latest OS standards, enhancing security and reliability by moving away from unsupported versions. Notifications for outdated Cloud Connector versions. Again, notifications will alert admins if any Cloud Connector are running outdated versions, providing visibility and proactive management to maintain up-to-date security. Unscheduled reports count against max limit. This improvement sets boundaries on unscheduled reports to prevent performance issues and ensure efficient resource management. The next one is the bulk device deletion in admin console. Admins can now delete multiple devices at once in the console, which allows saving time and reducing manual effort, especially if you're using large device pools. Restrict control SSP user account settings. This is basically enhanced restriction on self-service portal. User account settings allow for stricter controls on access permissions. Again, this is related to our add-on to a improvement to the security. Quarantine actions for certificates or configurations. Certificates and configurations that do not meet specified criteria can be now restricted or removed as part of a quarantine action, enhancing again system integrity, compliance, and security. Admin console table refresh. So this is basically to ensure data reflects the most current state. Table refresh functionality is added to the admin console, improving the user experience for real-time data management. And the other one is the update improve landing page. So the Neurons for MDM landing page is enhanced with a new layout and improved information architecture, making it more intuitive for users to navigate and manage devices. Export device custom attributes from the app inventory list. This ability is to export custom attributes directly from the app inventory list, allowing admins to more easily manage and utilize data, aiding in reporting and analytics. Then the other one is the using the Google Maps to secure to source device location, and also we are working on the standardized date format. So the standardizing the time date format across the globe is something that customers have asked for a specific region, but we are also moving forward with actually standardizing the time date format across the globe in all regions. This is our 4-quarter roadmap, but again, we will be doing sessions with the customers, detailed sessions on the 4-quarter roadmaps. But the focus for this meeting is essentially on the Q1, what's coming up in Q1. All right, for the MTD, as is we do for the Zimperium and the Lookout both sides, we do the SDK updates with the new enhancements or the changes that Zimperium and Lookout is bringing in. Along with that, we have especially for the Zimperium, the version 5 console support is available now. So people like customers can go ahead with migrating from version 4 to version 5 console And please do reach out to us for any assistance or help that you would need in process of this migration. So us and Zimperium will work together to make sure that you have this seamless transition that happens while you're migrating. On the lookout side, we are still continuing to implement the dual enrollment on the personal profile and also the kiosk zero touch anti phishing. So these are the capabilities that are coming up in Q1. And moving on to the Android on the nuance for MDM. So for the Android, I will start with the Play Integrity extension. So this is basically expanding Play Integrity support to all Android versions, improving device security and compatibility. Then we also have the enhanced logging for the registrations, like improving logging mechanisms during device registration to aid in troubleshooting and providing detailed activity insights. Then we also have disabling the AI with Android 15. That is, I think, the most important ask or the critical ask from all the customers. So disabling the private space functionality for Kobo and frontline configurations to restrict unauthorized data use. And also disabling the AI is the disabling AI driven suggestions and features for Kobo frontline environments to maintain a streamlined control device experience. So these are a bunch of restrictions or the controls that are coming up in Q1. Also, the device registration source identification. So we are adding capabilities to identify the device registration source, whether it's a ZT, KME, or QR code for better visibility in corporate device enrollments. Then we have the also there is a TeamViewer dependency removal that also we added. That's might not be showing up here though, but enhancing remote session support by reducing dependency on the TeamViewer admin app for both unattended and attended access. Then we also have some lost mode improvements, enhancing the lost mode feature to improve device location and recovery capabilities for company owned devices. And we also have the KME usability enhancements coming up, making usability improvements to KME for smoother device onboarding in enterprise settings. And also, there is improved C2C migration that we are bringing up, where streamlined cloud to cloud migration process for seamless device management transitions. And last but not least is the shared kiosk performance reporting, adding performance reporting for shared kiosk setups to optimize device usage and uptime in high traffic environments. So with that, those are a bunch of capabilities that are being added or bringing in with the Q1 release. Moving on to, I'll just cover the Android core side as well, which is basically the EPMM platform. So what's coming up with EPMM on Android side of the things. All right. So we have the EPMM Android features, what's coming up in Q1. So with the Android Q1 2025, Ivanti's EPMM for Android focuses on enhancing ease of use, advanced capabilities for frontline operations, and introducing support for VR in line of business settings. And some of the key highlights include bulk enrollment after wipe, which allows devices to be quickly re-enrolled post-wipe, streamlining device recovery and re-provisioning. Then private space and AI disabling for Android 15, which is basically the same we have discussed on the cloud side, where it restricts unauthorized access and AI driven suggestions in Kobo frontline configurations for tighter security and streamlined experience. Again, play integrity expansion on cloud, we have it, and we're bringing it in core as well equally. Extends play integrity attestation to all Android OS versions, ensuring comprehensive compliance and security checks. Then we do have secure reassignment on Android. So this is something provides secure device reassignment on Android, reducing setup time for new users while maintaining data integrity. So all in all, these updates improve operational efficiency, secure device handling, and support advanced features tailored for frontline environments. So that's about the Android EPMM. With that, I'll also just quickly cover Sentry, Access, and Tunnel. Then I'll hand it off to Yosune so that she can talk through the the Apple platform as well. So for the Sentry, we do have some of the spikes that we're working through in our Q1. Not necessarily those are going to be available in Q1. We are basically doing the background work. Just wanted to let you know that we are working on the certificate pinning, wherein adding an option to add two Sentry certificates. We are doing the background work, which will like show up in Q2. And also, the removal of integrated Sentry UI from EPMM, that is something that's will be available in Q1. Not, I mean, to not available in sense, I would say that this is something that's coming up where we are removing the integrated Sentry UI from EPMM. Just wanted to emphasize and re-emphasize to all our core customers that if any of the traces that the integrated Sentry UI is there on the EPMM UI, we're going to remove that, because this has been end of life, back in 2019, and still there are some traces that are laying around in the UI, which is causing confusion to some of our customers, assuming that there is, the support for the integrated Sentry. So you'll not be seeing integrated Sentry anymore on the UI, and we have a KB already published and also updated on the all products release page. And on the tunnel, one of the update is basically the collect tunnel logs for EPMM. So this is again planned for the Q1. It is a step towards streamlining the user experience and clarifying the available options within Ivanti system. Basically, for the tunnel, this is basically allows the simplifies log collection for admins. Again, this is non-intrusive, ensures end users are not disturbed during the troubleshooting process, where admin has the access to pull the logs automatically from the device. So this is going to be available in Q1 for the EPMM, and this is planned for Q2 on the neurons for MDM. Then we have the split tunnel support for IP-NE. So again, this is also something that is being discussed and being reviewed in Q1, and likely will be making it into, we're still working through it. If we can just, bring it into Q1, we have a slight clarification that we're working through. And if that's the case, we'll make it into Q1, otherwise into Q2. But just wanted to let you know that we are also working on this split tunnel support for IP-NE. So for the access, again, same thing. We have some projects that we've been working on the access. Not necessarily they'll be available in Q1, but again, this is more of an information that we want to share with the customers that, one of the key capability that we're working on is the shared kiosk enhancement, making the ZSO option selective. This is also in discussion and in works in Q1, but it'll start showing up in Q2. So that's mostly on the Sentry, access, and tunnel. All right, on to you, Yosune.
Thank you, Aruna. Hi, everyone. We're off to a great start. So new capabilities that are coming in this Q1. Okay. So let's start. Continuing with our cadence of delivering declarative management features. In past release, we delivered the ability to create predicates. So this is something that it actually requires new knowledge for our customers. We are trying to make the declarative management adoption in the platform as seamless as possible, so you don't have to learn new behaviors. The configurations are working as expected, same as the configurations that exist today. But this is a complete new feature, right? So this is something that the predicates were introduced by Apple, and it requires some new knowledge from our admins as well. So predicates are expressions that you can add to any configuration to customize its behavior. And I encourage you to read more. There is Apple documentation that you can go and read and how they are created. Today we have sort of an MVP in our product and looking forward to get some feedback. So you can create predicates in our product and a cloud, and then you can assign them. As you see here, you can create the predicates with this new tab in the admin and Apple menus. It's a little bit small, but that's the first step. And then if you go to any configuration that is a declarative device management configuration, cannot be any configuration, just DDM. you will find a new section that it for the delivering to, and in the distribution screen, you can see for everyone and for the custom, there is a new section that it's called Activate with Predicates. And then you can assign those predicates that you created to that configuration. So it will apply a new behavior to the configuration, like a timeline and when it needs to be applied, or some sort of conditional expression for that configuration to work or to stop working, right? So please go and review that. And in this release, what we are adding is the ability to add custom attributes to the predicates. So you can make them even more granular to your needs and your own specific use cases. The software enforcement, a feature that you might be already familiar, that is a new configuration that if you haven't tried it, please test it out and start working with it. We've got great feedback from customers. This is also the new software enforcement way of updating the platforms, all your fleet from the platform. It's a new configuration. It's not in the old software or legacy software updates. It's a new configuration that it's called software update enforcement. And that's already there. In the new release, what we added is the ability to add the latest version. So it's more automated. To what we had till now is that you had to explicitly say which version you want the device to upgrade. And that's still there. So you can go to a specific version. But if you just want the latest version that it's announced by Apple and it's in the Apple Lookout with this new feature, latest version, the system will go and fetch that new version and create this configuration in the backend for you and push it to the devices. You just need to make sure that you have all these different fields already distributed to your device, that it will be the latest version, what time, if you want detailed URL that will show in the settings of the device for your end user to know, and how long after the new version has been detected, the update should apply. So yeah, that's the new piece of this, or new enhancement to this configuration. Another enhancement from Apple, as you know, till now, all the different software scripts, they required an agent to be run. But as you know, Apple would like to always look out for the seamless experience, and they added the ability to run scripts directly from the console with MDM controls. And that is what we are supporting as well. So we already had the ability to run scripts with our Mac agent, but now it was added, Apple added the ability to run the scripts without that agent. So if you haven't deployed, you don't want to deploy a new agent to manage it, you can start running some scripts as well. So you will see in this red square, this is what is supported without the agent. There are some, of course, some custom functionalities that we added because we had the agent, but this is what's supported by Apple. So you can create your scripts, you can add them here and make them run and distribute it to your devices. Other things that came with macOS 15. So we added this, or this is part of the support of the latest versions. So now we have more customized way of managing the smart cards with Kerberos. And all these other various improvements, as you know, Apple adds in every release. So we have new skip items. macOS 15 now supports also disabled MAC address randomization. It was supported already, but for iOS, but not for macOS. Now we're adding also the settings for share iPad passcode policies and when it needs to be refreshed. Some restrictions, you know, there are lots of new restrictions, especially on the Apple Intelligence. We don't say Apple Intelligence per se, the features are not called like that. So I know, and it can be difficult to find, but the mail summary, for example, is one of the Apple Intelligence, and the others are, of course, other restrictions that were added in 18.1. And here are the other Apple Intelligence configurations that were added, or restrictions that are for the external intelligence integrations and integration signing. So if you don't want your end user signing in into any of those external. In this case, we know the only integration that is supported is ChatGPT. You can block that for Mac and for your iOS devices. Another enhancement that has been a request for customers, as you know, we added some time ago, a couple of years ago, the app catalog to our native client. So customers and end users can enjoy this seamless experience, and we don't have to manage a web clip on the side that doesn't have the badging and the notifications, right? So we added that tab now into our client, iOS Ivanti Go client. So end users can go there and find the corporate applications, and they can have all those notifications and badging as was requested. But something that customers have been asking is, I still want to maintain some sort of branding, right? The iOS client cannot be branded, only the tabs in there. So we added the ability to create your own web apps so you can brand it as you like. They can also be managed via the app catalog. And these web apps now can have this deep link directly to the app catalog. So for the end user, will be seamless. They click on the web app and it's just a deep link to the app catalog on the client. So you can have that branding experience as well. On the Windows roadmap now, we've been working hard on the Windows Labs feature. This has been a request for a long time. So the feature will be ready in this quarter. Unfortunately, for this to work, it needs to sync, right? So part of this Labs is that it syncs the password with Microsoft Entra. And that sync of the password requires a change into our integration app. Now, if you're familiar in how we integrate with Microsoft Entra, you know that in your Microsoft Entra tenant, you have to configure the Mobile Iron Cloud application for that sync to work. But for this new feature, we require an extra permission, that is to read that identity of for that password. So the feature is ready. Just for you to know, we will not enable it yet until we get the Microsoft to respond to our request to update. So that's also on the works. We've submitted a couple of months ago the request, and it's still in pending. So as soon as this is ready to go, we'll all let you know in case you were expecting this feature. Another feature we've added in our policies, the ability directly to block any device that is a BYOD device. So if you are enrolling with Autopilot, now you can just allow Autopilot devices to be enrolled in your tenant. So as soon it just happens in a few seconds, as you're familiar with our policies and the compliance policies, how they work, the device will enroll. If Autopilot flag is not true, then you will be able to retire the device immediately. It usually happens in a few seconds, so no applications get installed and there is no main problems for the end user. And this is a big feature that we've been working for a long time. And this is for all our customers that don't have or usually are not ready to have a Microsoft Entra environment and an AAD setup. Many of our customers are not interested in that, and they are just managing everything with G Suite, for example. But they still want an ability to bulk enroll in a seamless way all the devices. So what we worked on is now we can create and enroll all these new devices with a generic user of that it needs to start. With Windows.bulk enroll. Dash bulk enroll dash something else that is your particular user for enrolling these devices, and then you can assign the device to the real end user. So now you can just push this PPKG, download it, or just insert it with a USB, however is your preferred method of enrolling devices, and that device will automatically get enrolled. We will have all the, of course, documentation and how it needs to be done. But if you're familiar how to creating a PPKG with a Windows configurator, designer, that's exactly how it needs to go. And then the device will automatically enroll. It will show up in your console. You can select it and just assign it to the end user. In future, we already received some feedback from customers. So in future releases, what we're going to do is the ability to bulk assign those devices to the real end user, so the admin doesn't need to go one by one assigning devices. So this is a big feature, and you will be able to seamlessly enroll all these devices with a generic user that can be assigned later, reassigned later. Windows eSIM configuration, another thing. I know not many customers have this, but it's something new that most of the high-end Windows devices come with. And we've seen some push from our carrier partners and also some customers that would like to enable the eSIM configuration in their Windows devices. So for Windows 11, will be supported. If you're familiar with how iOS works, you need to work with your carrier and to get the URL that needs to be inserted in this configuration. And then once the configuration goes to the device automatically will connect to this URL and the eSIM will be provisioned. And now quickly go to EPMM for iOS and macOS. Mostly for iOS and macOS for Q1, what we have is all the restrictions that we discussed also for our neurons for MDM. So exactly the same restrictions are coming for the allow mail summary, RCS messaging. I know that many of you have already been working with custom plist, right, to control this, all these restrictions that came out. However, now in this release in 12.4, there will be a native way to control them, same as the 18.2 features for Apple external intelligence. If you are still struggling in how you can manage in your old versions or other versions of EPMM, please contact our support team. They can help you with the plist. There is a KB article. But then once it's ready in 12.4 is live, you will be able to do it natively there. This is also one of the features that came with the iOS 18. It's the ability to manage the Safari extensions. And so now you don't have to manage it directly on the devices. You can manage them, all the extensions that need to be allowed or disallowed or just specific sites. You can manage them from the MDM and allow them or create these permissions automatically from MDM. It's much more seamless than it was before. And I think that's all from the Apple and Windows side. That's it for me. Thank you all.